Okay, so this is the Interactive Advanced Concept Presentations 8, and just as a reminder, it was on Instant Ice. So let's get into it. So this is what's supposed to happen. So from the video on Canvas, you almost completely freeze purified water bottles for about 2.5 hours. Before it's frozen solid, you strike the water bottle, and this causes the water to instantly freeze. And the whole water bottle basically turns frozen solid after you strike it based off of the video on Canvas. And then when you pour this same almost freezing cold water onto ice cubes, it should freeze on top of the ice and build up on top of the ice. So this is what's supposed to happen, just based off of the video that was attached to this assignment on Canvas. From the get-go, I was skeptical about this assignment, and I knew that this was going to be a pretty challenging one. So let's see what happened to the results.
Okay, so I chose to do the voiceover because the original sound wasn't very pleasant just because I wasn't getting successful results. So as you can see, I took my water bottle out of the freezer. It was in there for about 2.5 hours. And I tried to flick it, see if it would freeze. It wasn't happening. So this is take 2 of the video. You can see here, I hit it, but it wasn't really doing what the original video did on Canvas with the Instant Ice video. So I kept putting it back in the freezer thinking maybe it needed longer, or maybe it just wasn't frozen enough to form the instant ice. And this was the result I kept getting. As you can see, I started hitting it against the counter because I originally thought maybe I wasn't hitting it hard enough to form the instant ice. So I just started trying to hit it as hard as I could and see if something happened. You can see right here, it kind of formed a little bit of instant ice, but nothing like the video that we saw on Canvas again. But that was pretty much the closest that I got to getting some type of result anywhere near the video that we watched on Canvas. Here's the portion where I tried to pour that same freezing water into the ice to see if it would freeze up where he formed that instant ice sculptures, but as you can see here, it did not work again, and it just poured into ice water.
So how does this happen? Now we'll actually get into the portion of the presentation where we talk about why what was supposed to happen, and also why it maybe didn't happen. So when the water in the bottle hits freezing temperatures, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the water molecules freeze and form ice crystals. So they form little by little, not all at once. So they build on top of each other as they're freezing. And this happens by nucleation. So this is the start of ice formation, and this is basically when the ice crystals latch onto any impurity on the water bottle or whatever container they're in and start building off that. So the ice crystals originally start by nucleation, but then they latch onto each other and build and build and build from there. So the smack to the water bottle causes those ice crystals that have already formed to build on top of each other until the bottle is completely frozen, which gives the effect and the look of the instant ice. So that's what's supposed to happen, and when you pour in water onto the ice cubes, the same nucleation occurs. So since the water's pretty much already freezing, when you pour it onto the ice cubes, it freezes and then continues to build on from there. So same concept with that. So now we can talk about what went wrong with my project. So it could have been the purity of the water. I did get purified water bottles from the gas station, so it shouldn't have been an issue with the purity, but that's always potentially something that could cause it to not work. Or it could have been not a hard enough strike when I tried to flip the water bottle. I tried it a lot of times, as you saw from the previous video, so I'm not sure how hard you were supposed to hit it. But the second bullet point here, and the one that I think really did happen, was that it was not cold enough. So I think it's supposed to be more of a slushy texture in order to form the instant ice, but it was more watery. So I think that had the biggest impact on why my experiment did not work.